Welcome to Thailand, the land of smiles. I'm Tim Harcourt, the Airport Economist. Come with me as we discover Bangkok, the country's commercial and political capital. We know Thailand for vibrant markets, beautiful beaches and limestone cliffs. I'm going to show you why it's also one of Southeast Asia's most significant economies and major manufacturing base with a sophisticated middle-class market. Coming up, we discover why Thailand is one of ASEAN's most advanced economies, find out how you can start selling here, and we learn about the country's proud history and culture. But first, let's take a closer look at this regional economic leader. Thailand is located in Southeast Asia, in the middle of the Indo-Chinese Peninsula, or the Mekong Delta. It shares borders with Burma, Cambodia, Laos, and runs all the way down to Malaysia. Thailand has almost 70 million people. It's the second biggest economy in Southeast Asia and 20th in the world. The World Bank says Thailand is a great development success story. Check out its stats. Economic growth of 3%, unemployment of less than 1%, low inflation and poverty is falling. The currency is the Thai baht. Thailand is not poor. It's actually an upper middle income country with a large urban population with strong purchasing power. This means it's not a low labour cost economy either. The Thai economy is fueled by exports. They account for 2/3 of GDP. It's strong in manufacturing with a large automotive sector on the eastern seaboard known as the Detroit of Asia. Agricultural exports such as rice are also important. Thailand is one of the region's most established holiday destinations and tourism is big business. It accounts for almost 20% of the economy. Thailand's top trading partners are China, Japan and the United States. Thailand is a great base to access ASEAN's fastest growing markets. It's the trade and logistics hub of the Mekong Delta region. Competitive operating costs and a business-friendly government make it an ideal place to do business. I caught up with the Australian ambassador to Thailand to learn more.
Thailand's a great base for Australian companies looking to do business in Southeast Asia for a number of reasons. First, it's the second largest economy in ASEAN. Secondly, it's a very developed economy. It's a mature economy. You will find in Thailand a level of maturity of economy that you won't find anywhere else in Southeast Asia except for Singapore. And then thirdly, it's the gateway to the Mekong region. It's the entry point for Australian companies looking to do business in Cambodia, in Laos, in Myanmar and Vietnam. There are three very strong reasons for Australian companies looking to come here.
Do you regard Thailand as an open economy that's business friendly?
Yes, it is. And that reflects its maturity and the level of development that's occurred. If you look at all of the surveys of ease of doing business, Thailand always rates very highly, especially rates very highly compared to its neighbours here in Southeast Asia. It welcomes foreign investment, it welcomes new innovative investment. It is an economy in which Australian business can thrive.
And where do you see the opportunities for a foreign business in the Thai market?
The traditional sectors, companies that are supporting the automotive industry. Of course, Thailand's automotive sector is huge. Most people don't appreciate that the majority of cars driving around on Australian roads are very likely to have been built in Thailand.
And nearly all of the utes.
Nearly all of the utes, or pickups as they call them here. We expect more and more we'll see Australian startups being attracted to come to Thailand. Thailand's got a very sophisticated, very savvy population in terms of innovation, design, creativity. More and more we're seeing Australian startups looking at Thailand as an opportunity.
What assistance can the Australian Embassy and Austrade provide companies here?
We can provide advice on the market, the size of the market, the nature of the market, where are the areas which Australia might have a comparative advantage compared to other exporters, compared to other investors. We can provide on who potential partners might be for that company if they think they need partners. We can provide advice on the opportunities which the Thailand-Australia Free Trade Agreement, TAFTA, offers, or the ASEAN Australia-New Zealand Free Trade Agreement, where Australian companies can identify advantages that they get under those two agreements. So there's a range of opportunities which we can offer Australian companies, and we're very keen to do so. We have one of our biggest embassies in the world is here in Bangkok. We have a big Austrade team. We've got a big team from Foreign Affairs. We have representatives from the Departments of Agriculture, from the Departments of Infrastructure. They can all provide advice to Australian companies about the market.
And how do companies manage political risk in Thailand? Is it a deterrent at all?
Look, I don't think so, Tim. Thailand has a reputation, of course, for around political issues, coups and so forth. But I think there's a very good saying, which is that no government has ever been bad for business in Thailand. Notwithstanding what happens in politics, business gets on with business, and Australian companies have to make their own commercial judgments and their own assessment of political risk. I haven't seen, though, any sign that companies have been deterred as a result of the politics here. Of course, they have to take it into account, make their assessments. At the Embassy, we can provide them with advice. But I think overall, it really hasn't had much impact.
The Kingdom of Thailand was the only Southeast Asian country never colonised. For centuries, Siam, as it was known, used its sea and river ports to trade, attracting merchants from China, India and the Middle East. By the 20th century, it was the world's largest exporters of rice. Siam's absolute monarchy ended in the 1930s and the country changed its name to Thailand. World War II and the Vietnam War triggered a number of military coups and instability. In the following years, Thailand pumped American aid into investments in infrastructure and human capital. It made significant economic and social progress. Thailand experienced the world's fastest economic growth from 1985 to 1996, expanding an average of 12% a year. Then disaster struck. In 1997, its currency collapsed and triggered the Asian financial crisis. The economy shrank 11% in just 1 year. The Thai economy bounced back and has expanded every year except for the 2008 global financial crisis. Projects and incentives from the controversial Prime Minister Thaksin boosted exports and domestic spending. Thailand is known for political instability, notching up 12 coups since 1932. But this hasn't significantly hindered growth or the country's prosperity. Australian natural health company Blackmores has operated in Thailand for 30 years and is #1 in this market. Blackmores has built a successful brand and a loyal consumer base, despite political ups and downs. Let's visit its biggest office in Asia, right here in Bangkok. So why was Thailand chosen as the first market in Asia for Blackmores?
Thailand is the first market because, Thai people love Australian product. And Thai people is also really, concerned about the health of us.
Are foreign brands highly regarded here?
Yes, indeed, because Thai people also regard in terms of, the high quality and also, the safety of the product. So most of the multinational brand is very highly regarded here.
So how are Thai customers unique?
We are the person who really want to be educated. We want to learn. We want to get more information. But at the same time, we also want to get new thing, to explore the new thing also. In that sense, for Thai people, I think that education becomes something that very important to them. They and Blackmore have, pick up on that insight that we do a lot of education to the Thai consumer, to the Thai pharmacists, and also to educate them about, the product, the ingredient, the wellness.
So what consumer trends are you seeing in Thailand?
Okay, in terms of the segment, I think that the healthy aging is the most important segment. We have many of the elderly people that the statistics show that this segment is become like the highest in Asia. Okay, and in terms of the behavior, I think that Thailand is a country that quite addicted to the social and digital things. Facebook, Line, and many social platforms. So that is also the behavior of Thailand that go to those digital world and engage with the digital like social media things.
Are Thai consumers price sensitive?
Yes, it is because when we shopping, and I think you will experience when you go to the market also a lot of merchant and a lot of negotiation in the marketplace, and that is showing that Thai people like to negotiate, like to have the best price for the product that they buy. So it's quite price sensitive here, and also it have but the reality is that actually I think that they care for the value of the price that they pay for. So Blackmore have confirmed that our product is also bring the high quality and safety, and that the value that the Thai consumer buy for Blackmore products.
So you've been very successful in Thailand. What advice would you give to a foreign company who hasn't been here yet?
To coming to Thailand, my advice is first to understand the Thai culture. That people here is really love to have the communication that really attract them and love to have the new idea, love to exchange the new things. But at the same time, Thai people is also very humble. We are not really very aggressive, really showing off so much. So I think if the company can understand the Thai people culture, that will be the first start that I will recommend. The second will be about the regulation. Okay, that doing business we have to comply with all the regulation to really understand what the regulation that you have to deal with. I think that's very important. Maybe it's a little bit difficult for the foreigner, but I think that most of the authority and government is willing to support on that. So don't be shy to get and to engage with them.
Some foreign companies are put off by the political situation in Thailand, the volatility. What advice would you give them?
If I would have the advice, I would say that come to Thailand, and invest in Thailand. Thai people really, love to have, many investment here. And we really have, we want to support. It's not just only the consumer, but it's also the government and the authority also willing to support, the things. So sometimes when we're talking about politicals, I think that it will not go away. You will see that in every country, but that should not be any issue for Thailand.
So whatever the political situation in Thailand, you would say it's business as usual for business and investment?
Correct. I think it's a business as usual,
Thailand's sophisticated middle-class consumer market attracts foreign sellers from around the world. As disposable income grows, shoppers are spending more on lifestyle products and services. The country's e-commerce market is tipped to grow 17% a year for the next 5 years. Internet penetration and strong social networks are making it easy to reach and communicate with Thai consumers. Bangkok has more people on Facebook than any other city in the world, with a whopping 30 million users. Let's find out how your business can benefit from this.
I think the advantage of having such strong social networks is that if you want to get a message out quickly, there is no faster method. Above the line is, takes months of production. Social is within minutes. You can take advantage of occasion. You can take advantage of seasonality. You can take advantage of really anything that is topical or of interest to the groups you're trying to talk to. I think the nice part is that you also know that you've got to keep your messaging very succinct and very clear and clean and within 140 characters, because you really don't have a lot more time or bandwidth with people, no matter what format.
So in Thailand, English is not as well spoken as, say, in Malaysia. How does that impact social media and e-commerce?
So I think that when you look at English as a first language, in Thailand it's a very strong second language. So I think it comes down to who is your audience. I think the advantage of talking to the middle upper class is you'll generally have an English speaking, or people that understand English, or at the very least someone will be in that community or group that have the ability to translate for you. When it comes to talking socially, I think the advantage is just keeping very succinct or very clean and easy messages. At the same time, you should always be aware of the local culture and the local needs. I actually think the one thing you need to consider is not necessarily the language, but the seasonality, religion, religious festivals, and actually understanding the culture. And when you're talking to people in appropriate times to talk to people, are you talking, who you're talking to. So I think having a little bit of local knowledge will never hurt in that respect of communication.
Coming up next, the ties that bind. We look at the country's global trade connections and discover the proud Siamese culture. Well, welcome back. Thailand is a largely open economy, and whatever the state of politics, it's business as usual. Transport links and a business-friendly government make Thailand an ideal base to export or operate. Around 3,000 Australian companies are already selling here. Thai import tariffs can be tricky to negotiate, and there are barriers to some goods. But deals like the Thailand-Australia Free Trade Agreement make it easier. Under this agreement, tariffs and other barriers have been eliminated on most Australian exports to Thailand, except for a few things like dairy. The Thai Board of Investment provides incentives to lure overseas investment. These include tax breaks and tariff reductions. Thailand is targeting 10 key sectors, including infrastructure, logistics, and food and agricultural processing. The Foreign Business Act limits overseas investment in certain industries, including restaurants, retail, and parts of the agricultural sector. Before investing in Thailand, get advice on ownership laws. Start with your government trade agency like Austrade in Australia and your country's local Chamber of Commerce on the ground here in Bangkok. Global Horticulture trades fruit, wine and food products in Asia. It buys from growers in Australia and sells to markets like Thailand. I caught up with owner David Flack on a South Australian government trade mission here in Bangkok.
Global Horticulture was set up about 3 years ago now, Tim. It was originally set up to focus on the markets of Southeast Asia and to join together growers' needs and the wants of buyers in overseas markets. We picked on Southeast Asia because of its proximity. It's close to Australia, it's got a huge population and it's growing at a great rate of knots. And Thailand in particular, I think, is going to be one of those real growing monsters.
How are Thai consumers unique?
They're very price sensitive, Tim. They don't have the spending power of the likes of China. Therefore, the fruit that we send here tends to be more of a second grade fruit. Obviously with the top quality fruit getting enormous price in China, that's where we target that. But we do need markets such as Thailand because we don't grow perfect fruit all the time, and we do have second grade and even third grade, and that's where Thailand really comes to the fore.
What are the specific types of products that are in high demand in Thailand?
In the way of fruit, you'll find most of the citrus fruits, of navel oranges, and in particular mandarins. The tariffs for mandarins back in 2005 was 42%. It's now 0. So if you have a look in supermarkets throughout Bangkok in particularly, or wet markets, you will find Australian mandarins as the #1 imported product, closely followed by navel oranges.
You mentioned tariffs coming down with TAFTA. Are there any non-tariff barriers, any cultural barriers going to Thailand?
The only other barrier we have, Tim, is quarantine issues. Not every type of fruit, variety of fruit, can come to Thailand from Australia.
How has the South Australian government helped access the Thai market for you?
The South Australian government has been exceptionally good for us, and I'd advise most people to try and get on board, because what it actually does, especially for the small and medium-sized enterprises like myself, it gives you some clout in the market, and when you're meeting new potential buyers, they are thinking that you're government endorsed, so it gives you that extra power. And at the same time, from my point of view, I'm speaking to people that they've introduced me to, who they've obviously vetted, and we know that they're fairly substantial companies.
What's your advice to exporters out there thinking of selling to the Thai market?
#1 word would be persistence. From day one, do your homework, get involved with Austrade, get involved with the Department of State Development, let them do some groundwork for you, come over here, visit the people, see how substantial they are, and then make some decisions that fits your process or your product, and then make sure you follow up. And that's the key to it, making sure you follow up. Don't wait 6 months after a market visit. Get on the bandwagon and get there within 2 or 3 weeks.
South Australia has a strong history in Thailand. In fact, it led the largest ever Australian trade mission to the country not long after the 2015 Bangkok bombing. The state government introduced its companies to Thai distributors and partners in industries from architecture to submarines. I sat down with the South Australian Governor, His Excellency Hugh Van Lee, on his latest trade mission to Thailand.
Well, trade mission allowed our business people, our trade people, opportunities, access to a number of contacts, access to information which ordinary people may find it difficult to get. Often we have quite a positive outcomes out of these missions.
What's the focus of this particular South Australian mission to Thailand?
We have identified a number of areas where I think is quite important, namely defense, high-tech manufacturing industry, education, tourism, and I think that is the area that we are now concentrating. Of course, food and wine is also an important part of this focuses in Thailand at the moment.
Thailand has a proud culture and unique way of life. It can be an easy place to do business, but foreigners must respect local customs and understand the sensitive political environment. Here are my top tips for succeeding in business. First and foremost, respect the monarchy. The king is revered in Thailand and is very visible. Stay away from conversations on politics. It's a touchy subject given the country's volatile history. Thailand is Buddhist, so be respectful of temples and religious symbols. A couple formalities. When meeting a Thai person, use the Y greeting a small bow with your palms pressed together in prayer position. And when addressing Thai people, use their first name, not their last, and add the title Kun at the beginning. For example, I would become Kun Tim. I visited the Grand Hyatt Erawan Bangkok for greater insight on building business relationships with Thai partners and clients.
It's very important to be sincere. Thais pride themselves on their own sincerity, their genuine level of care. They don't like it when you're aggressive. Like, I want to do a deal today and I want you to listen to me. The Thais don't like that. Any relationship that develops is going to develop over time and is going to be based on your level of sincerity.
What are the top cultural sensitivities that foreign business people should observe?
When you're meeting someone for the first time, it's traditional to pay respect with the wai. Thais love it when you wai properly and when you wai genuinely. So just to do it sort of like that is just not appreciated. But the more effort you put into the wai, I think the more that the Thai person you're dealing with will get out of that. In many countries in Asia, the handing of the business card with two hands is respected. If you've got paperwork that you're sharing amongst the two of you, or at a business meeting, for example, the last thing you want to do is to shoot that piece of paper across the table. Thais like you to either walk around the table and place it in front of them or hand it to them, preferably with two hands.
Are there any guidelines to follow when entertaining Thai clients?
A number of Thais don't eat beef. They prefer pork over beef. At certain times of the year, no alcohol is served, is available for sale, or is served. Many Thais actually don't drink alcohol, and the Thais that do drink alcohol might drink, say, whiskey over wine, because the tax on wine is a great deal higher than whiskey or, say, beer.
What areas of Bangkok do you recommend for business entertainment and dining?
Kuntim, apart from dining at this hotel, which has some spectacular food and beverage options available, we would recommend Satorn or Sukhumvit. The reasons why we'd recommend that is because there's a lot of dining options there.
What's the best way to get around Bangkok?
So if you're going to get to the outlet that you're going to at, say, peak hour, I would stay away from travelling in a car. I would always take the BTS or the MRT. So the MRT is like the underground railway, the BTS is the above ground railway, and particularly over the peak times, it's super efficient. It's a great way to get anywhere. Bangkok is famous for the tuk-tuk. So I would recommend that at least once you need to travel in a tuk-tuk.
Well, that's all we've got time for on our trip around Bangkok. I hope you now see Thailand as a business opportunity as well as an exotic holiday destination. Let's recap what we've learnt. 1, be smart about the political situation and check your government's travel advice before you leave home. But the show will go on, and it's generally business as usual here. Contact the Thai Board of Investment and understand what incentives you qualify for. 3, find out if your country has a free trade agreement with Thailand. It can really help you navigate the country's complex tariff environment. 4, use the formal greeting like the why and name titles. 5, embrace the amazing Thai culture, which is so unique in the region and right around the world. Check out our website, theairporteconomist.com, for more details, special offers from our partners, and find out where we're flying to next. Well, that's it from Thailand, the land of smiles. I'll see you on our next business adventure together. I'm Tim Harcourt, and I'm the Airport Economist.